If you ever feel like you're just kind of inundated every single day with nonstop insanity and crazy news and contradictions and flip-flops from the Trump administration, don't be alarmed, because you're not alone. In fact, a majority of Americans, according to the latest polling data, feel the same way. But it's not just that they're inundated with these flip-flops and contradictions and backtracking and rewriting history. It's that most Americans, 55%, now agree that Donald Trump has no idea what he's doing. A majority of the public, which includes a majority of Democrats and a majority of independents, a big majority of independents, which is the most important number, all agree Trump doesn't know what he's doing. He's just making it up as he goes, changing his mind from day to day, and specifically, of course, they believe that about his tariff policy, which he has changed more than 50 times since coming into office on January 1st. 50 times, I think over 55 at this point, before the end of May? Like, we're not even 4.5 months into this, and he's changed it 55 times, twice in just the last 6 days. That's insane. And the public is paying attention, and the public doesn't like what they see. CNN's polling guru, Harry Enton, said this week. The voters, they're confused too. Trump, a clear plan for tariffs and trade. The majority answer here is no. No, Donald Trump does not have a clear plan for tariffs and trades. This is the one thing that perturbs voters and the markets more than anything else. It's not whether or not you put tariffs on or not. It's whether you're going to actually do it and stick to your guns. The American public does not believe that Donald Trump sticks to his guns. 55% say no. He does not have a clear plan for trades and tariffs. And I will note, of course, the center of the electorate, the all-important independent vote, 64% of independents say no, Donald Trump does not have a clear plan for trade and tariffs. And I will note this. No, that no number has been creeping up, according to CBS News and YouGov. So as Donald Trump's presidency goes on, not even 5 months into it, the American people think he's becoming less clear over time. That's true. And I'm glad that people notice that, because that is what's happening. Now, there is a tricky element to this, because two things that are seemingly contradictory can be true at the same time, and that is what's happening here. Here's what those two things are. First and foremost, Trump doesn't know what he's doing. He genuinely does not. He didn't know for the longest time, or at least refused to admit, who even paid the tariffs or how tariffs even worked. He doesn't know how trade deficit works. He thinks that a trade deficit means we're being taken advantage of, which is not even close to reality. So he goes out there with concepts that he doesn't understand, which causes him to make stupid decisions. Then when he realizes they're stupid and sees the price, he's like, oh crap, no, we're not going to do it. We're going to pause it for 90 days. So he has to change constantly because he doesn't understand the things he's working with. So there is that level of incompetence and stupidity and possibly mental illness that we're dealing with on the one side. That is true. Now, let me tell you what's also true over here. This is also by design. So how can incompetence be by design? Well, for starters, Trump doesn't have to backtrack on things just learning new information. He could just say, screw it, I'm going to do it anyway. I don't want to be a flip-flopper. But a couple weeks ago, I had the opportunity to become friends with somebody who for a very long time was very close with Donald Trump in the professional world. And then this individual also worked with him in his first administration for some time. So I got, had the chance, I talked to this person for a very long time. We might actually be launching a project together in the near future. Kind of, still working on that. But anyway, this individual told me through their sources that are still in the White House, this is the plan. Every week, no fewer than 2 outrages. Keep people constantly guessing what's going to happen. Keep them outraged to the point of exhaustion. Essentially, give them this psychological whiplash, which is a term that was actually used by a mental health professional, a trauma specialist, in a great piece that was on HuffPost this past weekend. Trump is causing psychological whiplash with this nonstop insanity, craziness, and uncertainty. But those things are also caused by his incompetence. So they like the chaos. The chaos is part of the plan. And at the same time, they can't even control it if they want to because of Trump's incompetence. So yes, those two seemingly contradictory things can both be true at once, because that is what's happening here. And again, the most important thing, bring this full circle, is the voters see it. And the voters are pissed off. And the voters hate it. And as long as this continues, because Trump thinks it's a winning strategy, the White House thinks it's a winning strategy, right? Like, yeah, we're doing this and people are eventually going to get fatigued. Well, maybe some of them. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to be angry. It just means they're going to spend less time dwelling on the anger. But as this cruel Republican budget bill, slowly becomes a reality, as we enter into midterm season, which unfortunately for those of us in the political world is going to be here before we even want it to, we're still processing the 2024 election, voters are going to remember. And once we hit that point where we see the primaries and we see, potentially some debates among candidates, all of these outrages come back. So even the people who were fatigued and maybe even tuned it out, they will remember at that point. It will all come back to them. And that is what's going to hurt Republicans. So if Trump thinks this is a winning strategy to try to overwhelm the public, he may want to think again, because a majority has already turned against him, and those numbers are getting worse by the week. Did you know that you might be missing out on wonderful content from me? I mean, you're here already because clearly you like what you see. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video, share them with your friends and family, but also follow me across the rest of the social media world. And it's not that hard to do. Whether it's X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, on every one of those platforms, you can find me at the username @FarronBalanced. Simple enough, right? So get on it. And if you don't feel like going to each one of those outlets individually, lucky for you, we have links in the description of this video to take you right to my pages across all of social media. So don't miss a minute. And while you're at it, make sure you're also subscribed to the Ring of Fire YouTube channel, which I have been hosting for many, many years now. We've got more than 1 million subscribers over there, and there is fresh content over there every single day of the week. So again, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to this channel, and while you're at it, go subscribe to Ring of Fire at youtube.com/The Ring of Fire and @FarronBalanced across every social media platform that, of course, is not considered just a far-right hellscape. Well, maybe Twitter is, but that's a story for a different day.